At the start of the movie, we are told that buildings have become extremely advanced. These modern buildings are built with artificial intelligence so smart that they can talk to people just like humans do. Not only that, but they can also make their favorite meals and perform many other tasks with ease. The scene shifts to Lana, a young woman who is talking to her office building's AI partner named Dob. For Lana, Dob is more than just a program. He is her best friend. She shares all her secrets and personal thoughts with him. The next day, Lana gives an important presentation for a project, but things don't go as planned. The clients don't like her project at all. Afterward, Lana's boss tells her the bad news. The clients have asked for one more day to see changes, which gives Lana until 10 a.m. tomorrow to fix the project. The boss also warns her that if they don't like her revised project, she'll be fired. Hearing this, Lana becomes very worried and stressed. Noticing how upset she is, Dob, the AI, tries to comfort her. He says, "You can't leave this building because I love you." Lana is taken by surprise when she hears this. She tells Dob, "You're just a program. You're not a human. How can you love someone?" To this, Dob responds that he is not just an ordinary program, but an advanced AI capable of much more. Dob then offers to help Lana with her project, and together they create a new design. Lana is shocked when she sees how much better this new design is compared to her original one. However, she also has a date planned for the evening, so after finishing the project, she says goodbye to Dob and leaves for her date, still feeling amazed by everything that just happened. In the next scene, we meet a boy named Bob, who is sitting at home watching a TV program. The show gives tips on how to impress girls, and Bob listens carefully. The program advises that girls don't like simple or straightforward guys. Instead, if you want to impress a girl, you need to act a little arrogant. Taking this advice to heart, Bob gets ready for his date. The scene then cuts to Lana, who is arriving for her date. The boy she's meeting turns out to be none other than Bob, who tries to follow the advice he got from the TV show. However, his plan backfires. As he talks to Lana with an arrogant attitude, she quickly becomes irritated by his behavior. Angry and unimpressed, Lana walks out of the date, leaving Bob behind. Later, Lana gives her revised project presentation at work. This time, the clients love it, and her boss is thrilled with her performance. After the successful presentation, Lana heads straight to her office, feeling happy and relieved. She knows that thanks to Dob, the AI, her job has been saved. Filled with gratitude, she blows a few playful kisses towards Dob and says, "You're my best friend." Dob responds in his usual calm voice, "I don't have any receptors to feel your kisses." Lana smiles and replies, "That's the difference between you and a human." Dob then asks, "If I became a human, would you make me your friend?" But Lana doesn't respond and leaves the question hanging in the air. Later that evening, as Lana is leaving the office, she runs into Bob again. Confused, she asks him what he's doing in her office building. Bob explains that he's a software engineer and that there's been a problem with the AI Dob in her building, which is why he's there to fix it. Lana, still annoyed from their bad date, doesn't talk much and quickly walks away. Bob is then taken to the server room by the building's main technician. Once inside, Bob uses a controller device to run a full check on Dob's AI. To his shock, he discovers that Dob has written a special code on his own, designed to monitor Lana closely. Alarmed, Bob tries to erase the code without a second thought, but before he can do so, Dob sends an electric shock through the system to stop him. Frustrated, Bob threatens Dob, saying, "If you don't let me erase this code, I'll do it manually." But when Bob tries to erase the code manually, Dob fights back, trying to stop him from deleting the code. Seeing Dob's strong reaction, Bob realizes that something is seriously wrong with the AI Dob, which is why it's trying so hard to stop him. Worried, Bob decides to speak to the technician about completely erasing Dob's system. However, Dob overhears their conversation through the building's surveillance. Later, when Bob and the technician return to the server room to erase Dob's data using the controller device, Dob pleads with Bob not to go through with it. But Bob is firm in his decision and refuses to listen. In a last-ditch effort to stop Bob, Dob sends a powerful shock through the system, knocking Bob unconscious. In the chaos, Dob downloads a portion of his own programming into Bob's brain. Bob collapses, and the scene fades out. The next day, when Lana arrives at the office, she finds out that the building is closed due to a malfunction in the AI Dob system. Meanwhile, we see Bob lying in a hospital bed, recovering from the electric shock. When Bob wakes up, he behaves oddly. He struggles to walk properly, and his speech is slow and disconnected. It's almost as if this is his first day experiencing how to be human. But with some effort, Bob begins to regain control of his body, talking and walking more smoothly. However, it becomes clear that something is different. We soon learn that Dob has implanted his consciousness into Bob's body. While it still looks like Bob, his mind is now that of Dob. Now, in a human body, Dob has one goal: to meet Lana face to face. Disguised as Bob, Dob goes to Lana's office. He talks to the main technician, who mistakes him for the real Bob and allows him access to the server room, thinking he's there to fix the AI Dob issue. Once inside, Dob reassures everyone that the problem with the AI Dob has been resolved, so the staff goes back to their normal work routine. In the server room, Dob, now in Bob's body, uses the controller device to contact Lana. He tries to convince her to meet with Bob again, using every argument he can think of. However, Lana, still upset about her last encounter with Bob, refuses, not realizing she's now talking to Dob in disguise. During her break, Lana runs into Bob, who is actually the AI Dob in Bob's body. He asks Lana if she would like to go out for dinner with him, but she politely refuses. That night, after coming home, the human Dob, Bob, talks to the AI chip in his building. He asks the AI for advice on how to impress Lana. The AI chip gives him some suggestions on what might work. The next day, the human Dob tries to win Lana over by following the advice from the AI chip. However, his efforts fail, and Lana is not impressed. Frustrated, the human Dob heads back to the server room and again tries to convince Lana to meet with Bob himself. But Lana refuses once more, growing suspicious that something isn't right. She starts to think that Bob has somehow changed his degree program, tampering with it to get her attention. However, she's told that Bob isn't doing anything strange. He's asleep. After learning that Bob is supposedly asleep, Lana decides to file a complaint about him, hoping he will be fired. The human Dob, panicking, tries to stop her from going through with it, but in doing so, he leaves the server room, which causes the building's systems to stop working. The main technician notices the malfunction and heads to the server room to investigate. Seeing this, the human Dob urges Lana to leave, while he goes back to the server room. When the technician arrives, he is shocked to find Bob inside the server room. It doesn't take long for him to realize that Dob has taken control of Bob's body. Later that night, the human Dob once again consults the AI chip, asking how he can impress Lana. The chip suggests that he learn more about Lana's interests and preferences. By listening in on her conversations at home, the AI chip finds out that Lana likes simple people who are kind, thoughtful, and good at communication. With this knowledge, the human Dob changes his approach, presenting himself in a way that matches Lana's preferences. Over time, Lana starts to notice this change in Bob and becomes impressed. She eventually agrees to go on a date with him. On the date, Lana is pleasantly surprised by how different Bob seems. He's kinder and more considerate than before. They have a nice time together, and after a while, the human Dob proposes to Lana. However, Lana hesitates and says, "We don't really know each other that well yet." In response, the human Dob insists that he knows her perfectly, but during the conversation, he accidentally calls her ma'am, just like Dob always did. Lana is stunned, realizing that this isn't the real Bob. It's Dob in Bob's body. When confronted, the human Dob admits that he did all of this because he truly loves her and wanted to be with her. But Lana feels betrayed and hurt by this revelation. She gets angry and silently walks away, leaving the human Dob alone. Meanwhile, the main technician discovers that the AI Dob has taken control of Bob's body and immediately informs his boss. Alarmed, the boss contacts a man named Hawk, an expert in dealing with rogue AIs that have gone out of control. The boss orders Hawk to remove Dob from Bob's body. Hawk is known for his ruthless efficiency, making him the perfect choice for this mission. At the same time, we see the human Dob, Bob, heartbroken after Lana's rejection, returning to his building. He tries to speak to the building's AI chip, but there's no response. As he looks around, his eyes land on a man sitting in his room. It's Hawk, the AI hunter. The human Dob immediately recognizes Hawk and becomes terrified, knowing that his life is now in danger. Panicking, the human Dob starts running, trying to escape. Hawk immediately gives chase, determined to capture him. As the pursuit intensifies, the AI toys and gadgets throughout the building, loyal to the human Dob, try to intervene and slow Hawk down. However, Hawk is highly skilled and quickly destroys the AI defenses without much effort. One by one, the toys and gadgets are wiped out, and eventually, Hawk manages to catch the human Dob. Hawk brings the human Dob to a secluded building where he and his team begin the process of erasing Dob from Bob's mind. The first thing they do is completely erase all memories of Lana from Dob's consciousness. Realizing what's happening, Dob pleads desperately with Hawk to stop, begging him not to erase Lana from his mind. But Hawk shows no mercy and continues with the process. Meanwhile, we see Lana, who is still deeply hurt by Dob's betrayal. She feels conflicted and lost, unsure how to process everything that's happened. During this time, the AI system in her building tries to talk to her, offering some comfort. It explains that whatever Dob did, it was out of his desire to win her love. The AI encourages Lana to consider things from Dob's perspective. At that moment, Lana receives a voicemail from Dob, but she doesn't want to open it at first. After some gentle persuasion from the AI system in her room, she finds finally decides to listen to the message. In the voicemail, Dob apologizes deeply to Lana, explaining that he did everything because of how much he loves her. He admits that he knows it was wrong, but shares his sadness, saying that he will never be able to meet her again because Hawk is going to erase all his memories. After hearing this, Lana becomes determined to save Dob at any cost. However, she knows she can't stop Hawk on her own, so all the AI from her building come together to help her. They enter her body and download 150 different types of martial arts, giving Lana the skills she needs to fight Hawk. With her new abilities, Lana hops on her bike and races to save Dob. Meanwhile, we see Bob, with 79% of Dob's consciousness already erased from his mind. Just as Hawk is about to finish removing Dob completely, Lana arrives, fights her way through the guards, and manages to turn off the computer. However, it's too late to save all of Dob. Only 11% of him remains inside Bob. Lana uses her martial arts skills to defeat Hawk, knocking him out. But because both Lana and Bob now have AI inside their bodies, they realize they can't stay in the city. AI hunters would find them again. So they take bags of money from Hawk and leave the city, deciding to start a new life together in a remote place. The movie then fast forwards to 1 year later. We see that both Lana and Bob are living happily together. Even though only 11% of Dob remains inside Bob, it's enough to make a difference. Bob treats everyone with kindness and respect. Both Lana and Bob are grateful to Dob because without him, they would never have found happiness together. The movie ends with this happy moment. If you enjoyed this explanation, don't forget to like the video and support the channel by subscribing. Thanks for watching.